Just a day after the United States launched powerful airstrikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, US President Donald Trump made headlines again. This time not for missiles, but for words that could shake Iran's leadership. In a bold post on social media platform Truth Social, Trump hinted at what many had feared but his own officials had denied: a possible regime change in Iran. Though let me tell you, Trump wrote, it's not politically correct to use the term regime change. But if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? Mega, a twist in his famous slogan, Make America Great Again. Now, this comment came just hours after members of cabinet insisted that the US strike was not about replacing Iran's government, but about stopping its nuclear weapon program. Clearly, Trump sees this thing differently, or at least he wants the world to think that he does. Now, with such remarks out and open, all eyes are on Iran's top leadership, specifically the country's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Though he has ruled Iran since 1989, questions about his health, his age, and the future of Islamic Republic are becoming harder to ignore. Let me tell you who comes after Khamenei. Iran has a strict system in place to choose the next supreme leader, laid out in its constitution. When the time comes, the job of picking a successor goes to a very important group called the Assembly of Experts. 88 senior clerics who are elected by the people, though only those approved by Iran's powerful regime can actually run. To select the new leader, at least 45 members must agree on a candidate. Now, this person must be religiously qualified, potentially loyal, and capable of protecting the system from internal or external threats. But there's also a backup plan. If Khamenei were to suddenly die or be assassinated, an emergency leadership council would temporarily take over. This group would include Iran's president, its chief justice, and a senior cleric from the Guardian Council. Their job is to keep the system running until a permanent supreme leader is chosen. Now, let me tell you, while all the process sounds formal and rigid, behind the scenes, it's much more complicated and secretive, and possibly already in motion. Reports suggest that Khamenei has quietly chosen 3 senior clerics as possible successors. These names have not been officially confirmed, but the idea is simple, and that is to ensure a quick and smooth transition in case something unexpected happens. But the question is, why the urgency? Let me tell you. Because Iran's leadership fears not just natural death, but also external threats, assassination, and regime instability, specifically in the wake of the United States and Israeli military pressure. Among the speculated names, one often mentioned was Ibrahim Raisi, Iran's president until his recent death in the helicopter crash. He had been seen as close to Khamenei and ideologically aligned with the regime's hardline position. With him gone, the race of succession becomes even more uncertain. Another potential candidates include Mojtaba Khamenei, the supreme leader's son, a very powerful but shadowy cleric who is believed to yield significant influence behind the scenes. However, many inside Iran oppose turning the leadership into a family dynasty, which could contradict the revolutionary ideals the Islamic Republic was built on in 1979. So the question is, why do Trump's comments matter so much now? Because in the middle of one of the most dangerous military escalations in years, the idea of changing the leadership in Tehran adds an entirely new layer of risk. Iran already sees the US and Israel as enemies trying to weaken or topple its government. A call for regime change, even half-jokingly, only reinforces that threat. And that particular fear could lead to further retaliation, cyber attacks, proxy wars, or even more direct strikes. But yes, it also signals something deeper, that Washington, at least under Trump, believes the problem isn't just Iran's weapons, it's the people in power. The supreme leader is seen not just as a religious figure, but as the final authority on foreign policies, defense, and ideology. Changing him means changing the entire direction of the country, which is no small task. As of now, Khamenei's office has not responded to Trump's remarks, but silence doesn't mean indifference. In Iran's political system, specifically during times of crisis, even silence can speak volume. So while bombs fall and missiles fly, a quieter but equally explosive question is now hanging in the air. Who will lead Iran next? And will the Islamic Republic, as we know it, survive that transition? Well, the world may not have to wait longer to find that out.